Alright, gang. Today I'm going to cover an article from, again, Muscle and Fitness, December 88, sticking with the 80s. And there's an article called Train for Record Breaking Power by John Komareski. And it's focused on Gene Bell and Dave Passanella, who both broke world records at the most recent Budweiser Hawaii Power Meet. Unfortunately, not very long after that, Dave actually had a fatal car accident and passed away. So we're going to focus on Gene, and actually his son Ian followed right in his footsteps, looks a lot like him, built a lot like him, and following in his footsteps strength-wise too. So let's go right to Gene. So it starts out with, to date, there's been only one 181-pound lifter who has ever combined a world record 843 squat, 523 bench press, and a 744 deadlift for a whopping world record 2110-pound total. And that's Staff Sergeant Gene Bell of the U.S. Air Force. Gene began his career in weights as a teenage state Olympic champion in Florida. As a matter of fact, he repeated this feat at 158 to be victorious for 3 separate years. He then tried his hand at powerlifting and took first in the Tampa Open powerlifting meet in 75 with lifts of a 465 squat, 305 bench, and a 500 deadlift, and he did this all without the aid of a weightlifting belt or even wraps. Bell then went into bodybuilding. He entered a few state and regional teenage bodybuilding contests and then placed 4th in the Mr. All-South bodybuilding contest. Lee Haney also entered this contest and placed 2nd. Bell finally returned to his beloved powerlifting and placed 5th in the Collegiate Nationals in the 165 class, which gave him All-American status at South Carolina State College, Orangeburg. After graduating with a degree in physical education and biology, Gene began coaching girls track and field while still entering a meet here and there. In December of 81, Gene signed up with the U.S. Air Force and he became a fitness specialist and began to enter more bodybuilding and powerlifting contests. In 83, Gene was victorious at the Junior National Powerlifting Championships, where he won the 165. Bear with me as I turn the page here. .165 class with a 1,730-pound total. Then in 84 and 85, he went on to win the 165 class at the U.S. Powerlifting Federation Senior Nationals. And in 87, his first place finish was in the 181 class. Bell won the USPF World Championships in 84 at 165 and 87 at 181. Also in 87, he won the 181 class at the Armed Forces meet along with Best Lifter honors. He repeated this victory in 88, only this time in the 198 class. In 5 of 6 Armed Forces meets, Gene has won Best Lifter honors. Bell's latest win was at this year's USPF Nationals in the 198 class. Off-season training. Bell follows a unique training schedule. 1 week he trains 3 days, the next 4. This training remains the same for the entire year unless he needs a short layoff. Bell's 3-day routine looks like this. Monday, squatting and assistance exercises. Wednesday, benching and assistance. Friday, deadlifting and assistance. The only change the 4-day routine sees is that Bell adds a light squat day on Saturday. During his off-season training, Gene does 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 8 in all exercises, along with a wider variety of exercises. Deadlifts are done off a 2-inch block with an overhand grip, again for 6 to 8 reps per set. The deadlift assistance exercises are more numerous during the off-season. Weighted pull-ups, shoulder shrugs, pull-downs, bent-over rows, and hyperextensions All follow deadlifting and help make up Bell's off-season back day. All other training remains the same during and off-season, with the exception of the 3 power lifts, which vary in rep ranges. Right? You can see how, it sounds like a bodybuilding routine in a lot of ways with all that assistance he does, and he does look like a bodybuilder, and he was. Another one of those power lifters with a really good build. A contest prep. This heavily muscled 181 pounder begins his contest training phase 9 weeks before a meet, takes a week off just before the event, and at this point in his training, Bell increases his poundages while slightly decreasing his reps and concentrates on good form. Gene's high volume of exercise is reflective of an advanced bodybuilder, like I just said, and his body looks it, but as this preparation phase begins, Bell cuts out some of his bodybuilder back assistance exercises. The 2 back exercises he does during contest prep are deadlifts and weighted pull-ups. On the squat, bench, and deadlift, Bell warms up to a weight that he wants to do for two or three sets of 3 to 5. He may stay at the same weight for all sets, or he may increase or decrease depending on how he feels. I may remain at the same weight, or if it feels good, I may increase, and if it doesn't, I may decrease. It's all instinctive, even though I have an idea of what I would like to do. He then lowers the weight by 10% and does 1 set of 6, emphasizing good technique. In the week that Gene trains 4 times, his light day will incorporate poundages that are roughly 20% less than his heavy days, but the same rep ranges apply. Bell says he has a problem with his body weight, and as long as he competes in the 181s, if he didn't train down, his body weight would be about 198. It's hard for me to keep my body weight down, Bell says. I keep tabs on my diet and try to cut my food intake gradually. Bodybuilding exercises also play a role in this, and he does take supplements. Before the Hawaii meet, he hadn't really taken a lot of supplements, but he was cramping after every lift at the Budweiser World Record meet in Hawaii. So now in his current training, Bell is on a strict program of Weider supplements under the writer's supervision.